Hello everyone. So in the last class we have discussed what are rational root theorem, what are integer root theorem. So today let us discuss what are Vieta's relations. So this is a very important topic, Vieta's relations. So this is nothing but the relation between roots of a polynomial equation and its coefficients. For example, let us start with a quadratic equation. Say you have a2x square plus a1x plus a0 is equal to 0 is your quadratic equation. Let us say roots of this equation are alpha and beta. So if the roots are alpha and beta, then you can write this equation a2x square plus a1x plus a0 as x minus alpha into x minus beta, and there is a leading coefficient a2, so let us write here a2. So now I am just multiplying this, so this is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta, and this is a2x square plus a1x plus a0. So now you can take a2 common here also, so you will get x square plus a1 by a2 into x plus a0 by a2 is equal to a2 into x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So now you can see that these two polynomials are essentially the same polynomials, right? Because this polynomial has roots alpha beta and this also clearly has roots alpha beta. So these are polynomials which are equal for every value of x. So we can directly compare these two polynomials. So if you compare, you see a2 gets cancelled, the coefficient of x square is same, 1 and 1, and if you compare the coefficients of x, you will get a1 by a2 is equal to minus of alpha plus beta, and a0 by a2 is equal to alpha beta. So these are called the Vieta's relations. You have the sum of roots as minus a1 by a2. Okay, I can write this in this way, that sum of roots alpha plus beta is minus a1 by a2 and product of roots is a0 by a2. So these are called the Vieta's relations. Fine. So minus a1 by a2 and product of roots is a0 by a2. So if I try to derive this for a cubic equation, say we have our equation a3x cube plus a2x square plus a1x plus a0, and the roots are alpha, beta and gamma. So I am writing this as x minus alpha into x minus beta into x minus gamma, and the leading coefficient is a3. Fine. So now if you multiply this, you will get x cube minus, to get x square, what you can routinely do the multiplication and you will get it. Otherwise you think like this, to get the coefficient of x square, multiplication is taking one term from each bracket and writing the product, right? So to get x square you take x and from here you take minus gamma, or else from here you take minus alpha, from these two brackets you take x, from this bracket you take just minus beta, from these two brackets you take x. So x square minus x square into alpha plus beta plus gamma, this is what you will get the coefficient of x square. And the coefficient of x will be what? To get x you take from one bracket x, from other bracket you take minus beta minus gamma, so this will be beta gamma into x. Similarly here you take x and here you take constants minus alpha minus gamma, and similarly here you take x, here you take constants minus alpha minus beta. So you will get finally plus x into alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, and at the last, to get the constant term, you just take constant from each brackets. So minus alpha minus beta minus gamma, that will be minus alpha plus alpha beta gamma. And now again if you compare the coefficients, you will find that alpha plus beta plus gamma is minus a2 by a3, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, this is a1 by a3, and alpha beta gamma is minus a0 by a3. Fine. You can just compare the coefficients, you just take a3 common this side and you can compare the coefficients, and finally you will get these relations. So this is generally denoted by sigma 1, this is denoted by sigma 2, and this is denoted by sigma 3. So what is sigma 1? Sigma 1 means sum of roots, sum of roots. Sigma 2 means what? Sum of product of roots taken 2 at a time, taken 2 at a time. And sigma 3 means sum of product of roots taken 3 at a time, product of roots taken 3 at a time. And similarly you can find sigma 4, sigma 5 if you move to higher degree polynomials, taken 4 at a time, right? Taken 3 at a time. So you can see sum of product of roots taken 2 at a time. If you take all possible 2 roots at a time, you will get alpha beta, beta gamma, alpha gamma. These are the only possibilities of taking 2 roots at a time. You write their product of roots taken 2 at a time and you just sum them. So you will get alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha as the product of roots taken 2 at a time, and you just sum them. So this is called sigma 2, and this is sigma 3, because to take 3 roots there is only one way here. You take all the 3 roots, alpha, beta, gamma. So this thing we can generalize it for any nth degree. Okay, let us also first write for a 4th degree. If you have say a4x power 4 plus a3x cube plus say a2x square plus a1x plus a0 is equal to 0, and say the roots are alpha, beta, gamma and delta, then sigma 1, that is sum of the roots alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta, this is minus a3 by a4, minus a3 by a4. Next, sigma 2, sum of the roots taken 2 at a time. Now see, you can take alpha beta, right? Now you can take alpha gamma, you can take alpha delta, alpha gamma, alpha delta. Next you can take beta gamma, you can take beta delta, and you can take gamma delta. So these are all the possible sum of roots taken 2 at a time, right? So alpha beta, alpha gamma, alpha delta, beta gamma, beta delta, gamma delta, that's it. These are the sum of product of roots taken 2 at a time, and this will be equal to what? a2 by a4. Next, let us talk about sigma 3. Sigma 3 is sum of product of roots taken 3 at a time. So you can take alpha beta gamma, you can take alpha beta delta, you can take beta gamma delta, and you can take alpha gamma delta, right? So if you sum these 4 things, you will get minus a1 by a4. Next, at the last you have sigma 4, that is taken 4 at a time. So there is only one way to take all the 4 roots, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and this will be equal to a0 by a4. So the pattern you can see, a3 by a4, a2 by a4, and then you have a1 by a4, then you have a0 by a4. But the signs start with minus and they change alternately, right? Here you have minus for plus, minus and plus. Fine. So here also you can see minus, plus and minus. So these are called the Weytas relation. This is nothing but the relation between the roots of a polynomial equation and between the coefficients of the polynomial equation. Fine. So now let us just generalize this for any nth degree. Say a polynomial of nth degree an x power n plus an minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 x power n minus 2 and plus so on a1x plus a0 is equal to 0. Let us say this has roots, say let us call the roots as alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 and so on up to alpha n. These are the roots. So sigma 1, this is nothing but sum of roots. Sum of roots is denoted by sigma alpha. This is nothing but alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus so on plus alpha n. So this is minus an minus 1 by an. Next, sigma 2, this is sum of roots taken 2 at a time. So you can denote it by sigma alpha 1 alpha 2. So this is alpha 1 alpha 2, alpha 1 alpha 3 and so on, then alpha 2 alpha 3 and so on. So all the possible taken 2 at a time. So this will be an minus 2 by an, right? Next sigma 3, sum of roots taken 3 at a time. So this is sigma alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. So this will be equal to minus an minus 3 by an, and so on. And at the end sigma n, that will be nothing but product of the roots. So that will be minus 1 whole power n into a naught by an. Right? It will depend on the value of n whether the sign is minus or plus. So okay, I think you are confused between sigma. So this is called, this is sigma as well as this is also sigma. So this is capital sigma and this is small sigma. So like we have capital and small letters in English, so in Greek language also we have capital and small letters. So this is the capital sigma notation and this is the small sigma notation. Okay, so sigma here denotes the sum. So we will study in detail what is sigma and what are its properties. In fact, this is going to be very helpful, this sigma notation. So when we study sequence and series, we will study about this sigma notations in detail. So but I think now you have a fair idea of how to express the roots as in relation with the coefficients of polynomial, right? So let us go ahead and do some problems, but before that let me tell you something important. Yes, so here this is a big expression, right? So you can write this expression in a simple way also. So this is also equal to alpha plus beta into gamma plus delta plus alpha beta plus gamma delta. You can simplify this, you will get this thing, right? So writing this way will be useful sometimes. And this you can simplify it, you can take alpha beta common here, you will get gamma plus delta, and here you can take gamma delta common, you will get alpha plus beta. Finally this is alpha plus beta. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you can express it in this way by taking common alpha beta into gamma plus gamma delta into alpha plus beta. So I mean this type of expressions will be useful while solving the problems. So before solving the problems, I will suggest you to just go through the relations which you have studied just now and just try to fix those relations in your mind. So try to observe the pattern how those relations are appearing. So let us start by drawing some problems. Okay, let us say there is a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 and its roots are alpha and beta, right? So if I ask you to find alpha plus beta and alpha beta, so clearly from what you have just studied, alpha plus beta is minus b by a, right? And alpha beta is c by a. That is what you have studied just now. So for a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, these are two very important formulas. Sum of roots is minus b by a and product of roots is c by a. So you need to remember this at every time, right? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, sum of roots minus b by a, product of roots c by a. This is just from what you have studied before, right? If you take a2, a1 and a0, then you will get the same thing, minus a1 by a2 minus and a0 by a2. So that is what I have written. Next, say if I give you equation 2x cube minus 7x square plus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0, and if I ask you find sum of roots and product of roots Yes, so how can you find the sum of roots and product of roots? So directly we can say that sum of roots is nothing but minus of minus 7 over 2, so that is 7 over 2, and product of roots alpha beta gamma, that is also minus of minus 3 over 2, which is 3 over 2, right? And if I ask you alpha beta plus gamma beta gamma plus gamma delta, this will be 5 over 2. Fine. So let us move forward. So if I give you any polynomial equation, to solve it is going to be difficult, right? If I give you a cubic equation or 4-degree equation, to solve it is going to be difficult. You need to do some hit and trial or something like that. But if I give you one relation between the roots, say if I give you sum of any two roots is 2, or sum of two roots is sum of other two roots, or if I give you product of two roots is 1, or if I give you one root is twice the other, then if I give you one extra condition, then you will be able to solve it, right? So but in those problems a calculation will be a little bit lengthy. So yes, before solving those problems, let us solve some more simpler problems. Say if ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 has one root twice the other, then find the relation between a, b and c. Find the relation between a, b and c. So if you want to try it on your own, then you can pause the video and you can try. Otherwise you can solve the problem along with me. So see, one root is twice the other, so let us say one root is alpha, then the other root will be 2 alpha, right? So roots are alpha and 2 alpha. So what is sum of the roots? Alpha plus 2 alpha, this is minus b by a, and product of the roots alpha into 2 alpha, this is c by a. So here I have 3 alpha is minus b by a, so I get alpha is minus b by 3a. So let us put the value of alpha in this equation. So here you have 2 alpha square is c by a, so this means 2 into minus b by 3a whole square is c by a. So this will give me 2 into b square over 9a square is c by a and a gets cancelled. So here you have 2b square is equal to 9ac. So this is the relation between a, b and c, for which one root is twice the other, right? Or you can say this is the condition in a, b and c for which one root of this equation must be twice the other root. Fine. So let us move forward. Let us take a question. If I give you solve the equation 4x cube minus 24x square plus say 23x plus 18 is equal to 0, given that the roots of this equation are in AP. AP means arithmetic progression. Yes, so you can pause the video and you can try this. Fine, so let us solve this problem. So it is given that the roots of this equation are in AP, right? So this equation has 3 roots. So how do we consider 3 numbers in AP? So we consider them as, so let the roots be a minus d, a and a plus d, right? If you have 3 numbers in AP, you consider them in this way. These are in AP with common difference d, right? Fine. So this we have studied when we are discussing the basics about AM, GM inequalities and what is AP and what is GP. So let the roots be a minus d, a and a plus d, because these are in AP clearly because the common difference is d. So now what is sum of the roots? Sigma 1, that is a minus d plus a plus d. This is minus of minus 24 divided by 4, so this is 6, right? Now you see the advantage of considering roots in this way. Here d gets cancelled, right? You can also take the roots as a plus d and a plus 2d. Still you will get the answer. But you see, advantage here is that d gets cancelled easily. Now you simply have 3a is equal to 6. This means that a is equal to 2. Fine. So a is equal to 2. Now let us consider the sigma 3. Sigma 3 is what? Product of all the roots, a minus d into a plus d. This is equal to what? Minus 18 over 4, that is minus 9 by 2. So let us put the value of a here, 2 minus d into 2 plus d. This is minus 9 by 2. So this you will get 2 into 4 minus d square is minus 9 by 2, right? So this is 4 minus d square is minus 9 by 4, and you will get d square is 4 plus 9 by 4, which is 25 by 4. So d you will get as plus minus 5 over 2. d will be plus minus 5 over 2. So now what is a minus d? A minus, let us say if d is 5 by 2, if my d is 5 by 2, then a minus d is 2 minus 5 by 2, that is minus 1 by 2, and a plus d is 2 plus 5 by 2, that is 9 by 2, right? So what are the roots? Roots are a minus d, a and a plus d, right? So that is minus 1 by 2, a is 2, a plus d is 9 by 2, right? Now say if d is equal to minus 5 by 2, then what is a minus d? This is 2 plus 5 by 2, which you will get it as 9 by 2, and a is anyways 2, and a plus d is 2 minus 5 by 2, which you will get it as minus 1 by 2. So again, what are the roots? Roots are 9 by 2, 2 and minus 1 by 2. So you will see that the roots will be same in any case, right? It doesn't matter what is the value of d. So the roots of this equation are 3 roots. There are 3 roots of this equation, and they are minus 1 by 2, 2 and 9 by 2. So roots of the given equation, given equation are minus 1 by 2, 2 and 9 by 2, right? Now you see here we have just used the values of sigma 1 and sigma 3, and we were able to compute the roots. Now we didn't even check the value of sigma 2, right? So since it is given that the roots are in AP, then definitely sigma 2 should also match, otherwise the given data will be wrong. So let us check whether sigma 2 is matching or not. Sigma 2 is how much? It is 23 by 4, right? So let us check whether sigma 2 is right or not. So sigma 2 is 23 by 4, and what is sigma 2? Sigma 2 is product of roots taken 2 at a time. So sum of product of roots taken 2 at a time. So this is a minus d into a plus a into a plus d plus a minus d into a plus d, right? All the products taken 2 at a time, and we just sum them, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma. So this is the value of a is 2, right? So 2 into 2 minus d. Okay, we also know the value of d. Fine. So let us just compute it. A square minus ad, a square plus ad. This is a square minus d square. Ad gets cancelled. So this is 3a square minus d square. And yes, what is the value of a? It is 2. And d square is 25 by 4. Right? We got the value of d square as 25 by 4. So this will be 3 into 4 minus 25 by 4. This will be 12 minus 25 by 4. This is 48 minus 25 by 4. So this will be 23 by 4. Right? You can check. Sigma 2 is 23 by 4. Fine. So actually the roots are minus 1 by 2, 2 and 9 by 2. And these roots are in AP with a common difference of 5 by 2. So this is how you can solve a equation using the Vitas relation, giving one additional condition, right? You need to have one additional condition. So here that additional condition was that the roots are in AP, right? Fine. So yes, let us do one more problem. Say if x square plus ax plus b plus 1 is equal to 0, where a comma b are integers and b is not equal to minus 1, has a root in integers, then prove that a square plus b square is a composite number. So you can pause the video and you can try this. Otherwise you can solve this along with me. Yes, so you see that this is a quadratic equation. A and b are integers, b is not minus 1, and it is given that the roots are in integers. It means what? The roots of this equation are alpha and beta. These are integers, right? The roots of this equation are integers. So let us write sum of roots. Sum of roots will be minus a. Product of roots will be b plus 1, right? Sum of roots is minus of x coefficient by x square coefficient 1, and product of roots is constant c by a. C is b plus 1, right? So here the constant term is entire b plus 1 is constant term. Fine. So alpha beta are integers and a and b are also integers. So let us consider a square plus b square. So a square plus b square, we need to prove that this is composite. Let us consider this. What is a square? Alpha plus beta whole square. And what is b square? Alpha beta minus 1 whole square, right? So b is alpha beta minus 1, so this is alpha beta minus 1 whole square. So this is alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta, plus this is alpha beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta plus 1. So this gets cancelled. So finally you have alpha square beta square plus alpha square plus beta square plus 1, right? So this you can factorize this as alpha square plus 1 into beta square plus 1, right? If you multiply, you will get this one. This is a square plus b square. And you see alpha and beta are integers, right? This belongs to z. So alpha square plus 1 and beta square plus 1, these are integers greater than 1, right? Because see, why I can say that these are integers greater than 1, because alpha and beta are not equal to 0, right? If alpha is 0, then only these integers will be greater than 1, right? If alpha is 0, then this will be equal to 1 and this will also be equal to 1. So why I am able to say that alpha and beta are non-zero? Because see, the equation was x square plus ax plus b plus 1 equal to 0, and it was given in the question that b is not equal to minus 1, right? So if b is not minus 1, then this constant is not 0, and this constant is not 0 means then 0 cannot be a root of this equation, right? If 0 is a root, it means what? 0 square plus a into 0 plus b plus 1 should be 0. This means b plus 1 should be 0. This means b should be minus 1, right? If the constant term is missing, then only 0 will be a root of a quadratic equation, because 0 is a root means 0 square plus a into 0 plus b plus 1 should be 0, and for that b should be minus 1, but it is not possible because it is given that b is not minus 1. So b is not minus 1 means 0 cannot be the root. So 0 cannot be the root means none of alpha and beta are equal to 0, right? So since b is not equal to minus 1, 0 is not a root. It means what? None of alpha and beta are equal to 0. None of alpha and beta are 0. So then alpha square plus 1 beta square plus 1 will be greater than 1. So that's why this will be a composite, right? Because this is a product of two integers greater than 1, so it is a composite number. Fine. So let us move and solve one more problem. So yes, so it is given that solve the cubic equation 9x cube minus 27x square plus 26x minus 8 is equal to 0, and it is given that one of the root of this equation is double the other, Fine. So you are given a cubic equation and you need to solve this cubic equation, and it is given that one of the root of this cubic equation is double the other. Yes, so I was saying that if you are given a cubic equation and if you have one additional condition between the roots, then you can solve it using the Vieta's relations, right? So see, it has three roots, so let the roots be alpha, and one root is double the other, so 2 alpha and beta, right? So let the roots be alpha, 2 alpha and beta, right? Because one root is double the other, so alpha, 2 alpha and beta are the roots. Yes, so let us write the condition. So what is sum of roots? Alpha plus 2 alpha plus beta is 27 by 9, that is 3. So here we have 3 alpha plus beta is equal to 3, right? Okay, let us call this as equation 1. Fine. Next we have, let us write sigma 2. Sigma 2 is alpha into 2 alpha plus 2 alpha into beta plus alpha into beta, right? Sum of product of roots taken 2 at a time. Alpha into 2 alpha, 2 alpha into beta, and then alpha into beta, right? Alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. So this is actually equal to 26 by 9, right? So this is 2 alpha square plus 2 alpha beta plus 3 alpha beta. So this is plus 3 alpha beta. This is equal to 26 by 9, right? And now let us write sigma 3. So what is sigma 3? Sigma 3 is product of roots alpha into 2 alpha into beta, that is 8 by 9. So you have 2 alpha square into beta is 8 by 9. Fine. So let us call this equation as equation 2 and this as equation 3. Okay. Now from equation 1 and equation 3, so from equation 1 and equation 3, what I am doing is 2 alpha square into value of beta I am taking from equation 1, right? So the value of beta I am taking from equation 1. What is equation 1 value of beta from equation 1? It is 3 minus 3 alpha. This is equal to 8 by 9, right? Okay, but then this is again a cubic equation. So this we are getting a cubic equation in alpha. So I mean, let us leave it. Let us not solve a cubic equation because we don't know easily how to solve a cubic equation. So yes, let us use equation 1 and equation 2. So from equation 1 and equation 2, this is 2 alpha square plus 3 alpha into the value of beta I am taking from equation 1. 3 minus 3 alpha is 26 by 9. So this is 2 alpha square plus 9 alpha minus 9 alpha square is equal to 26 by 9. So this finally you will get it as 7 alpha square minus 9 alpha plus 26 by 9 is equal to 0, right? I have taken all the terms to one side. So this is 63 alpha square minus 81 alpha plus 26 is equal to 0. So if you try to factorize this, you can actually factorize this. So this is 63 into 26, right? So 21 into 3 is 63 and 26 is 13 into 2. Fine. So we want 81. So yes, 21 2s are 42, 13 3s are 39, and 42 plus 39 is 81, right? So I am writing this as 42 minus 42 and minus 39. So I think you got what I have done. I have just taken the product, that is 63 into 26. Now 63 plus 26 is not 81. So I am just I just split it into 21 into 3 and 13 into 2. And 21 2s are 42, 13 3s are 39, and 42 plus 39 is 81. So I can write it as minus 42 into minus 39, and product of 42 into 39 is also equal to product of 63 into 26, right? Okay, so from here you can get the roots alpha as 42 by 63 and one more root as 39 by 63, right? So the values of alpha are 42 by 63 and 39 by 63. You can solve this by factorization, right? So alpha is 2 by 3, right? 21 2s are 42, 21 3s are 63, or the value of alpha is 13. I think we can cancel it by 3. 3 13s are 39, 3 21s are 63. So you have got two values of alpha. Fine. Now also we have equation 3, 2 alpha square beta as 8 by 9. Yes, so let us take case 1. If alpha is 2 by 3 and we have 2 alpha square beta is equal to 8 by 9, right? This is my equation 3. So let us try to find beta from this equation. So 2 into 4 by 9 into beta is equal to 8 by 9. So beta is equal to 1, right? So if alpha is 2 by 3 and beta is 1, so let us check whether 3 alpha plus beta is 3 or not. Okay, instead of doing it in this way, let us do it in this way. So this is also fine, but see what I am saying is we have used equation 1 and equation 2. Only we have used equation 1 and equation 2 to solve for alpha and beta, right? And we have got the value of alpha is 2 by 3. Now let us find the value of beta from equation 1 and equation 2 itself. So what is the value of beta? 3 minus 3 alpha, right? So if alpha is equal to 2 by 3, then beta is 3 minus 3 alpha. So 3 minus 3 into 2 by 3, that is 1, right? So if alpha is 2 by 3, beta is 1. Now let us check with equation 3 is true or not. Let us check whether equation 3 is also satisfying or not, because all the three equations should satisfy, right? So check 2 alpha square into beta. So this is 2 into 2 by 3 whole square into 1. So this is 8 by 9. So it is perfect, right? Equation 3 is also satisfied, so this is done. So alpha 2 by 3, beta 1. So now the roots are what? Roots are alpha 2 by 3 comma 2 alpha 4 by 3 comma beta, this is 1. Okay, now let us see why this is wrong, because if these are the roots, then this cannot be the roots, right? A cubic equation will have only one set of 3 roots. You can't have so many set of 3 roots. So if alpha is 13 by 21, then beta is 3 minus 3 alpha, 3 minus 3 into 13 by 21. This is 3 minus 39 by 21. 63 minus 39 is how much? That will be 63 minus 39 by 21. So this will be 24 by 21. So 3 8s are 24, 3 7s are 20. So beta is 8 by 7. Now let us check whether this third equation is true or not. What is third equation? 2 alpha square beta, right? 2 alpha square beta is 2 into 13 by 21 whole square into 8 by 7. This is 2 into 13 into 13, 21 into 21, 8 by 7. So nothing is getting cancelled, right? So this is clearly not equal to 8 by 9. You can check, this is not equal to 8 by 9. So third equation is not satisfied for these values of alpha and beta, right? So this cannot be the case, right? So we'll just reject this case, because the third equation should also satisfy, right? This is also integral part of our given equation. So let me just again redo the procedure. So since one root was double the other, we took the roots as alpha, 2 alpha and beta. Now we wrote the Weier's relations, and from taking equation 1 and equation 2, we were able to solve for alpha and beta, but we were getting two sets of values, right? So one set got rejected because for this third equation was not getting satisfied. So the roots are 2 by 3, 4 by 3 and 1 only. Fine. So this is how you can solve a polynomial equation by if you are given some additional condition on the roots, right? Yes, so let us solve one more problem. If the product of two roots of the equation 4x power 4 minus 24x cube plus 31x square plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0 is 1, find all the roots. Find all the roots. So if you want, you can pause the video and you can try this, and then we will discuss. Fine, so let us discuss. So see, you are given that the product of two of the roots is 1. If the product of two roots of the equation is 1, then you need to find all the roots, right? I have told you that you will be given one additional condition, then you should be able to find all the roots using the Vitas relations. So let the roots be alpha, beta, gamma and delta are the roots, right? And let us say alpha beta is 1, right? It is given that product of two roots of the equation is 1, so let us take alpha beta is equal to 1. Fine. So yes, we know that what is sigma 4, it is alpha beta gamma delta, right? So alpha beta gamma delta is minus 8 by 4 here, right? Alpha beta gamma delta is minus 8 by 4 using the Vitas relations only, because alpha this is alpha 4, I need not take minus sign, right? It will be plus of minus 8 by 4 only, so this will be minus 2, and alpha beta is 1, so you get gamma delta is equal to minus 2, right? So let us call this as equation 1, because alpha beta is 1, you will get gamma delta is equal to minus 2. Fine. Now let us go with sigma 1. This is alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta. This is minus of minus 24 by 4, right? Because this is sigma 1, you will have a minus sign. This is 6. Fine. Now let us go with sigma 2. Sigma 2 is what? Alpha beta plus alpha gamma plus alpha delta plus beta gamma plus beta delta plus gamma delta, right? So this you can write it as alpha plus beta into gamma plus delta plus alpha beta plus gamma delta, right? I have told you that this notation will be useful while solving the problems. Sometimes you can expand this, you will get all these 6 terms. So this is alpha plus beta, and this is equal to what? This is equal to sigma 2 is equal to 31 by 4, right? So let us simplify this. Alpha plus beta into gamma plus delta. Alpha beta is 1, so plus gamma delta is 31 by 4 minus 1, and that you will get it as 27 by 4, right? So you have alpha plus beta into gamma plus delta plus gamma delta is 27 by 4. So let us call this as equation 2, right? Let us call this as equation 3. Fine. So now let us go for sigma 3. Sigma 3 is what? Alpha beta gamma, alpha beta delta, alpha gamma delta, beta gamma delta, and this is equal to minus 6 by 4, right? Minus 6 by 4, minus 6 by 4. So this you can write it as alpha plus, let us take alpha beta common in these two terms, so you will get alpha beta into gamma plus delta plus gamma delta into alpha plus beta. This is minus 3 by 2. Fine. But alpha beta is 1, so this means that gamma plus delta plus gamma delta is minus 2, right? Gamma delta is minus 2, so minus 2 into alpha plus beta, this is equal to minus 3 by 2. So let us call this as equation number 4. Now you see you have 4 equations, gamma delta minus 2, and you have alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta as 6, and you have this equation alpha plus beta into gamma plus delta plus gamma delta, and you have this equation. Now you see how can we easily solve this process. We want alpha beta gamma delta. So you see that here you have alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta. Here you have gamma plus delta minus 2 into alpha plus beta. So now you see if I take equation 2 and equation 4, then I will get the values of alpha plus beta separately and gamma plus delta separately, right? You can treat alpha plus beta as sum A, this is B. You know A plus B, you know A minus 2B. Then you can find A and B, right? So let us solve equation 2 and equation 4. So from equation 2, let us put the value of gamma plus delta as 6 minus of alpha plus beta, and let us use this in equation 4. Substitute this in equation 4. So what you will get from equation 4? Gamma plus delta is 6 minus of alpha plus beta minus 2 into alpha plus beta, it is minus 3 by 2, right? Gamma plus delta is 6 minus alpha plus beta minus 2 into alpha plus beta, this is minus 3 by 2. So 6 minus 3 into alpha plus beta, it is minus 3 by 2. And finally alpha plus beta, what you will get? 6 plus 3 by 2 divided by 3. So this is 2 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to 5 by 2. Right? So you have alpha plus beta is 5 by 2, and you know that alpha beta is 1. So you can solve for alpha and beta. Right? So alpha beta is equal to 1, alpha plus beta is equal to 5 by 2. Then we can easily find alpha and beta, because see, in a quadratic equation, what do you know? If alpha and beta are roots, alpha plus beta you know, alpha beta you know. So if alpha plus beta and alpha beta are fixed, then alpha and beta individually also are fixed. So yes, alpha plus beta I am writing 1 by alpha is 5 by 2. So you will get alpha square plus 1 divided by alpha is 5 by 2. You will get 2 alpha square minus 5 alpha plus 2 is 0. Now you can solve this. 2 2s are 4. I am splitting minus 4 and minus 1. So alpha you will get either 2 and 1 by 2. Right? So one of this is beta, one of this is alpha, because if you take alpha is 2, beta is 1 by 2. If you take alpha is 1 by 2, beta will be 2. Right? So alpha comma beta are what? 1 by 2 and 2. So we have got the values of alpha and beta 1 by 2 and 2. Now we want gamma and delta. Right? Now this is very easy only, because now you have gamma plus delta first of all. Right? Gamma plus delta is 6 minus of alpha plus beta. So gamma plus delta, this is 6 minus of alpha plus beta. Let us call this equation number 5. Right? So I have written this from equation number 5. From equation 5. So then 6 minus, what is alpha plus beta? It is 5 by 2. 6 minus 5 by 2. So 12 minus 5, 7 by 2. So you have got gamma plus delta is 7 by 2. And what is gamma delta? Gamma delta was minus 2. So now you know gamma plus delta, you know gamma delta, you can solve for gamma and delta also. So gamma plus delta I am writing minus 2 by gamma. This is 7 by 2. Gamma square minus 2 by gamma. This is 7 by 2. So here you will get 2 gamma square minus 7 gamma plus 4 equal to 0. Minus 4 equal to 0. Right? If you simplify this, you will get 2 gamma square minus 7 gamma minus 4 equal to 0. This is minus 8. So you can write minus 8 plus 1. So gamma will be 4 or 8 by 2. Right? Gamma is 8 by 2 or minus 1 by 2. Gamma is equal to 4 comma minus 1 by 2. Now if this is gamma, then beta will be minus 2 by gamma. So beta will be minus 1 by 2. If this is gamma, then beta will be 4. Right? Sorry, not beta, delta. Delta. So we have gamma and delta also. We have got minus 1 by 2 and 4. Right? So finally we got alpha beta, we got gamma delta. So what are the roots? So roots are minus 1 by 2, alpha, beta, minus 1 by 2 and 4. So you see minus 1 by 2 is a repeated root. Right? We have discussed about repeated roots. Right? Minus 1 by 2 is a repeated root of this equation. So minus 1 by 2 is a twofold root, and you have 2 and 4 as the other roots. Now you see, if you want, you can verify all these. If you want to verify whether your answer is correct or not, you can check all these 4 relations. You can check sigma 1, you can check sigma 2, you can check sigma 3, and you can check sigma 4. Right? So if all the 4 are correct, it means your answer, what you have done, what you have got, that is correct. Right? So in the exam, when we are doing such a long calculation, it is generally good to verify whether we have done correct or not. So you can just verify with these equations. You can find the sum of roots, you should get this as 6. You can find sigma 2, you should get 31 by 4. You find sigma 3, you should get minus 3 by 2. And you can check all these. Right? Fine. So this is how we can solve these equations if we are given one of the conditions. Right? In roots, if we are given one of the conditions, then we can solve for equations. Fine. So I will send you the assignments, and we'll be doing so many problems in coming classes in Vieta's relations. Fine.